pretty recently when we were talking about kind of where Parsl is and how we can communicate that and how we can work together as a community. So I think as Kyle mentioned in the first talk yesterday, we're basically in a situation where the funding that has supported the project is ending. So we've had an NSF grant for roughly 6 years that gave us the funding to actually do all the initial building. And then we've had 2 grants from NSF and CZI for the last 2 years that have led us to push a lot on sustainability and how we actually make Parsl more sustainable. And we also have had support from a number of projects, which I'll talk about in a second. But I will say that in the proposal that we put in for NSF, at least for the most recent one, we put in this line, I think we put in this line that I think is a good way to get funding, but isn't necessarily the right thing to do in the long run, which was something like, if you give us this money, we will never ask you for more money again. It was something like that. Did we end up putting that in or not? I thought we did, but I don't know. We definitely made that case, even if we didn't say that explicitly. And so I think that's the reason that we were funded in the project. And we were, I think at the time, we were the only project that was funded under that particular track of sustainability, of transition to sustainability. So our goal in these 2 projects has been to basically have those projects support Ben's time, one maintainer's time, and half of Sophie's time, half of a community manager's time. And what we claimed was that by doing this for 2 years, we would get to a state where we didn't need any core support. We have, I think, reduced the amount of work that we need as support, but we haven't gotten to 0. And so we are now kind of in a state where we're not exactly sure of how we will proceed. We have some funding that's coming from Globus Compute, some funding that's coming from the Large Synoptics Legacy Survey of Space and Time Dark Energy Science Collaboration. And so some of that is paying for some of Ben's time, which I think is important, but it is not really supporting general maintenance. It's supporting stuff that those particular activities need. So we have lots of people that are working on Parsl, right? Everybody that's here in some way is either contributing to Parsl or using it. And having people contributing is great, but actually how that gets integrated is still a challenge, right? It's not something that necessarily everybody can write code that is integratable and supportable, and then they just drop that code and then we keep going without them. So we're really thinking about how do we support that kind of core work. And what we're thinking is that, again, volunteers certainly can help. And if there is anybody that wants to volunteer based on other work that they're doing that's using Parsl to spend some of their time kind of helping on the general maintenance, that would be great. If not, we're then thinking about how do we actually get more funding? And where we do have these 2 activities that are giving us a bit of money, we think maybe we could expand that. So is there anybody that is using Parsl for science, for engineering, for a larger project that potentially could carve off a little piece of that and actually use it to support Parsl so that Parsl continues to be around and continues to support that science or engineering that's the end goal? Are there people that have research ideas where Parsl would help support that research? And if so, is there a way of writing somebody on Parsl potentially partly into that research proposal so that, again, we get a little bit of money and we can add up a few little bits of money and turn it into something that can support a maintainer more time? We were chatting on Slack this morning and realizing that one of the things that I think we've been actually quite good at is taking research prototypes and turning them into production software. So a lot of the pieces of Parsl started off as demonstrations in some sense, demonstrating how to use some system, demonstrating some kind of scalability, demonstrating something else. And over time, those have moved from just being computer science paper evidence into something that actually is part of the code base and continues to work for more people. And so we're trying to figure out how do we actually do that more generally. So I guess just to kind of end this, I think a question is kind of what are you as Parsl users or contributors looking for from Parsl? Is it that you're looking for it to support some kind of end use? In which case, again, a question is, can you help us make sure that Parsl is going to be able to do that? And if it's that you're trying to do your own research, do you want that research actually to stay around for a long time? And can you help us make that happen? If what you're trying to do is write a paper and then you're done, then that's probably fine and we don't really have to do anything else. But if there is something else that we can do, we'd like to, and we're just trying to figure out how to support it. So I don't think I'm going to say anything more about this at this point. Kyle is going to wrap up at the very end today, and he may say a few other things. He may disagree with me. We'll see. But we would just kind of want to leave this at this point of being transparent, that we are in this situation where we can do some things, but we can't do as much as we need, and that may end up leading to challenges for people that are depending on Parsl. And so we're trying to figure out collectively, how do we address that, and how do we get to a point where we can have Parsl be the system that supports everything that people want it to do.